When Dr. Robotnik escapes the Mushroom Planet, his plans for revenge take a surprising turn as he teams up with the fierce warrior Knuckles, both on a mission to find the powerful Master Emerald. Meanwhile, Sonic's attempts to stop them lead to chaotic battles, including a dance-off in Siberia, intense mountain chases, and an epic showdown against a massive robot. Stick around until the end for an unexpected alliance and a twist that could change everything for Sonic and his friends. Welcome to your daily dose of Movie Pill. Today, we'll be recapping a 2022 comedy-adventure movie titled Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Spoilers ahead, and let's dive right in. After spending 243 days stranded on the Mushroom Planet, Dr. Eggman, or Robotnik as he's also known, finally completes his machine designed to transport him back home. Feeling triumphant, he activates it, but to his shock, things don't go as planned. A massive energy explosion occurs, and hours later, a portal opens while Eggman lies unconscious. A group of soldiers stumbles upon him, and when one of them attempts to steal Sonic's thorn, Eggman suddenly awakens. Instantly activating a series of traps, he manages to eliminate the invaders. After defeating them, Eggman bids farewell to the Mushroom Planet and rushes towards the portal. Just as he's about to step through it, however, he encounters Knuckles, who upon seeing the blue thorn, questions where Eggman found it. Sensing an opportunity, Eggman offers to lead Knuckles to Earth, where his plans for conquest can unfold. Wow, the movie actually starts pretty chaotic. Eggman teams up with Knuckles? I'm already hooked. Meanwhile, in the city of Seattle, a group of bank robbers is fleeing the police after a daring heist. Sonic, eager to help, intervenes when he sees the criminals attempting to make their getaway. With lightning-fast reflexes, he races toward the truck, knocking out the driver and taking control of the vehicle. However, as Sonic maneuvers the truck to stop the rest of the criminals in the back, he unintentionally causes all the stolen money to spill out on the street. That's when he discovers something even more alarming. Inside the truck with the criminals is a civilian and a load of bombs, which are suddenly triggered and on the verge of exploding. Realizing the vehicle's brakes aren't working, Sonic thinks fast, opting to throw the bombs into a nearby garbage truck, ensuring that no one gets hurt in the explosion. Moments later, Sonic sees the truck about to crash into an ice cream truck. Using his super speed, Sonic grabs a screwdriver and swiftly dismantles the car, preventing a collision and allowing the police to capture the remaining criminals. The next morning, after another heroic effort, Sonic returns to his home in Green Hills and retreats to his room for a much-needed nap. However, his rest is interrupted when Maddie and Tom enter, reminding Sonic that he has a fishing trip scheduled with Tom. During the boat ride, Sonic dozes off and accidentally falls into the water. Unable to swim, he panics, but Tom quickly rescues him and pulls him back onto the boat. While they continue fishing, Tom reveals that the night before, he checked Sonic's room and realized the hedgehog had snuck out again to play superhero. He warns Sonic that this behavior is dangerous, reminding him that he's putting both himself and others at risk by recklessly intervening. Tom explains that Sonic always leaves a trail of chaos in his wake, and that people's lives are endangered as a result of his actions. Hearing this, Sonic feels disheartened, especially since his biggest dream has always been to become a superhero. But Tom reassures him, explaining that he's still too young, and that when the time is right, Sonic will know when to use his powers to truly save the world. I think he did a pretty good job with the robbers back there, he just needs a little bit of training. That weekend, Tom and Maddie prepare a trip to Hawaii to attend Rachel's wedding. Instead of flying, they decide to use Sonic's help to open an interdimensional portal that will transport them directly to their destination. Before they leave, Sonic hands Tom one of his rings, instructing him to use it to return home when the wedding is over. Left alone for the first time in 48 hours, Sonic seizes the opportunity to indulge in the chaos he's always dreamed of. That afternoon, Tails arrives through a portal in the woods, having tracked Sonic's location using a specialized device. Later that evening, as Sonic is picking out a movie to watch, the lights of the house suddenly go out. Strange noises echo from outside, making both Sonic and Tails uneasy. Slowly approaching the door, Sonic watches as the handle is destroyed. And when the door opens, he's confronted by none other than Dr. Eggman. Smirking, Eggman taunts Sonic, stating that he's made a grave mistake by confronting him, but his threats only serve to provoke the hedgehog. Eggman vows to make Sonic's entire family suffer, infuriating Sonic, who prepares to attack. However, before he can land a blow, Knuckles appears and delivers a powerful punch, sending Sonic flying. Undeterred, Sonic tries to fight back, rolling into a high-speed attack, but Knuckles is too strong. He easily stops Sonic's assault with his fists and captures the blue hedgehog. Knuckles reveals that he's come to finish what his ancestors started, to restore the lost power that was stolen from his tribe, the Echidnas. Sonic barely defeated Eggman alone, and now he has a friend whose punches are shattering. Seems like Sonic will need some help. Just as Sonic is about to be defeated by Knuckles, a police car rushes in and slams into Knuckles, sending him him flying. Moments later, Tails arrives, urging Sonic to jump into the car to escape. Furious at the interruption, Knuckles chases after them with relentless determination. As they speed away, Tails introduces himself to Sonic, revealing that he's been following him for a long time and has come to warn him. Tails explains that Knuckles is the most dangerous warrior in the galaxy, and his mission is to find the Master Emerald, a powerful relic capable of turning thoughts into reality. Knuckles believes that Sonic is the key to finding the emerald. Their escape is chaotic, narrowly avoiding being crushed by a truck, but Knuckles isn't far behind and quickly catches up to their vehicle. In a last-ditch effort, Tails drives the car off a cliff, and as they fall, Tails uses his twin tails to fly them to safety. Meanwhile, Knuckles manages to escape before the car explodes. Realizing that he needs stronger reinforcements, Robotnik decides to contact his loyal henchman, Agent Stone. Overjoyed to hear from his boss, Stone sends a spaceship to assist Robotnik, which soon arrives on Earth and transforms into a heavily armed vessel brimming with advanced machines under Eggman's command. As Knuckles approaches the top of the cliff, Robotnik sees an opportunity and strikes a deal with him, promising to help the Echidna warrior find the Master Emerald in exchange for Knuckles using it to defeat Sonic. Meanwhile, Sonic, along with Tails, seeks help from Wade. They need to figure out why Knuckles is so convinced that Sonic holds the key to the emerald. Sonic examines the map given to him by his late friend, Longclaw. As he studies it, a holographic message from Longclaw is triggered, revealing crucial information. Longclaw warns that the Master Emerald is hidden on Earth and must be protected at all costs, because it has the power to turn mere thoughts into reality. In the wrong hands, the power could spell the end of the universe. With this warning in mind, Sonic realizes that his next destination is Siberia, where a compass leading to the Master Emerald is hidden. If Sonic goes to find the emerald, it'll just be easier for Knuckles and Eggman to find it as well. They could just follow Sonic, right? Upon reaching Siberia, Sonic and Tails are greeted by a fierce snowstorm. They take shelter in a small wooden cabin that turns out to be a restaurant. While waiting for their food, Tails explains more about the threat they face. Robotnik has escaped from his exile and is now hunting Sonic, determined to claim the Master Emerald for himself. When the food arrives, Tails mentions that his order is wrong, which leads to both him and Sonic being unmasked by the suspicious patrons. Realizing that Sonic and Tails are not human, the restaurant customers become hostile and prepare to throw them into the fire as punishment. However, Tails comes up with a solution, proposing they resolve the conflict through a local Siberian tradition, a dance battle. The patrons agree, and the restaurant transforms into a dance floor. Sonic, unsure of his dancing abilities, is hesitant at first, but Tails supports him by creating multiple clones of himself to perform alongside him. Together, they manage to outdance the locals and win the contest, earning the respect of the other patrons. Having won their freedom, Sonic and Tails are allowed to stay the night at the restaurant and rest before continuing their journey. The next morning, Sonic and Tails fly over the snowy mountains in search of the cave described on Longclaw's map. After locating it, they enter and discover a massive gate covered in ancient inscription. Tails translates the text, learning that ages ago, the Echidna tribe fused the 7 Chaos Emeralds to create the Master Emerald, a weapon so powerful it could grant its wielder the ability to defeat entire armies. However, a group of noble owls, including Longclaw's ancestors, stole the emerald to prevent its power from being misused and vowed to protect it from those who sought to exploit its potential. Sonic successfully unlocks the gate using a sequence of symbols and retrieves the compass, but they quickly realize they're not alone. Eggman has followed them and sends a swarm of robots to attack. A missile is fired at Sonic, but he manages to redirect it towards Knuckles, who has also arrived on the scene. The impact causes the cave to start collapsing, forcing Sonic and Tails to make a hasty escape. While skiing down the mountains to evade Eggman's robots, Sonic and Tails get separated. Sonic uses his speed to throw snowballs at the pursuing robots, causing them to crash into each other and explode. However, Knuckles reappears, determined to claim the compass for himself. A fierce battle ensues as they slide through the snow, with Knuckles landing a powerful blow that nearly knocks Sonic off a cliff. As Sonic hangs on the edge, he drops his rings, losing his means of teleportation. Realizing that he's trapped, Sonic hands the compass to Tails, telling him to run and get to safety. But just as Tails takes off, Eggman arrives and seizes the compass, leaving Sonic in a precarious situation. He then launches an attack on Tails, severely injuring him with a barrage of missiles. Eggman and Knuckles leave victorious with the compass in their possession. Well, technically they don't need the compass at all. They can just follow Eggman and Knuckles. Sonic, devastated by Tails' condition, rushes to his friend's side, finding him unconscious from the attack. Surprisingly, Knuckles hesitates before leaving, noticing that Sonic chose to save Tails instead of pursuing the compass. With a massive avalanche descending from the mountains, Sonic has no chance but to carry Tails in an attempt to outrun the incoming snow. Desperate, Sonic contacts Tom and asks him to use one of his rings to open a portal to save them. However, Tom and Maddie are attending Rachel's wedding in Hawaii. Just as the wedding ceremony is in full swing, the portal opens, unleashing a tidal wave of snow that crashes into the wedding party, causing chaos and confusion as Sonic and Tails are saved from the avalanche. While attempting to wake Tails, Sonic is suddenly trapped by a power grid, while Rachel uncovers a shocking truth at her wedding. Randall, her fiancé, and all the guests are actually federal agents. When Rachel learns her marriage was a sham, a scheme orchestrated solely to capture Sonic, she becomes enraged. Meanwhile, Tom fights against the agents attempting to capture Sonic and Tails, but is eventually overpowered by Randall and locked away. Maddie, trying to piece together the situation, confronts Commander Walters, who explains that after the events in San Francisco, the FBI formed a global task force to defend Earth from alien threats. However, Maddie points out that Walters has made a terrible error by imprisoning the only individuals capable of stopping Robotnik, who has returned. Yeah, I don't think they care that much. After Walters leaves, Maddie and Rachel team up to infiltrate the hotel. Using an anti-gravity device, they launch one of the agents into space, which allows them to access the building. Maddie heads off to rescue Tom and Sonic, while Rachel, furious at the deception, seeks revenge on Randall. Meanwhile, Maddie successfully breaks into the room where Tom and Sonic are being held and manages to free them. Little do they know, Robotnik and Knuckles have just located the Master Emerald's true location. At that moment, Sonic notices a massive beam of light emerging from the ocean, signaling that Robotnik has found the legendary jewel. Determined to protect his friends and ensure no one gets hurt, Sonic decides to face Eggman alone. Despite waking up, Tails is still too weak to fly, but he insists that Sonic will need help, as he can't defeat Knuckles by himself. Tom, now free, rushes to find Commander Walters, urging him to assist in stopping Robotnik from destroying the planet. Back in Green Hills, Wade is on a coffee break when he notices that his favorite cafe is mysteriously closed. Curious, he peers inside and is shocked to discover Stone, Eggman's loyal assistant, working on the villain's plan. Realizing that the cafe owner is an ally of the supervillain who nearly destroyed Earth, Wade decides to intervene and arrest Stone. Meanwhile, Sonic must cross the ocean to reach the source of the light. Overcoming his fear of drowning, he runs across the water at high speed, but a massive wave knocks him unconscious. Fortunately, the ocean current carries him to shore, where Sonic discovers the Master Emerald hidden within an ancient underwater temple. Inside, Robotnik and Knuckles are struggling to bypass an array of lethal traps designed to protect the Emerald, narrowly avoiding disaster. Sonic soon enters the temple to find it filled with all manner of traps. Relying on his speed and agility, he skillfully evades the dangers and reaches the central chamber just as Robotnik prepares to betray Knuckles. Well, it seems useful now to have Sonic's super speed. You can't just brute strength everything. The villain intends to eliminate Knuckles to claim the Master Emerald for himself. Before Robotnik can strike, Sonic bursts through the ceiling and races towards the Emerald, hoping to secure it before either of his enemies can. However, Knuckles quickly catches up with Sonic, and the two engage in an intense battle, with Sonic eventually being thrown into a waterfall by Knuckles. After defeating Sonic, Knuckles begins climbing the temple's stairs to retrieve the Master Emerald. However, Sonic, determined not to give up, returns to the fray and uses his spiked body to knock Knuckles into the ground. Despite this, Knuckles swiftly recovers and unleashes a powerful flurry of punches, which Sonic narrowly dodges. While the two engage in fierce combat, Robotnik seizes the opportunity to steal the Master Emerald. When Knuckles realizes that Robotnik has broken their deal, he's overcome with rage. Feeling betrayed by someone he once considered an ally, Robotnik mocks Knuckles for being naive, then completes the theft and escapes with the Emerald. Removing the jewel triggers the temple's collapse, and it begins to flood with seawater. As Sonic searches for an exit, he spots Knuckles trapped under a pile of rubble. Although Sonic cannot swim, he selflessly dives underwater and uses a rock to sink to the bottom, freeing Knuckles from the debris. Knuckles swims to the surface, but Sonic, unable to keep up, begins to drown. Realizing that Sonic is in danger, Knuckles dives back down to save his rival, and together they manage to reach the beach. Sonic, after risking his life to save Knuckles, explains that this is what a superhero does, and shares that his ultimate goal is to spend his life helping others. As Sonic explains his motivation, Tails arrives just in time to rescue his friend. Sonic, however, realizes the gravity of the situation and knows that defeating Dr. Eggman will be nearly impossible if they don't work together. He turns to Knuckles, asking for his help to recover the Master Emerald, suggesting that their chances of succeeding are much higher if they join forces. Knuckles, seeing Sonic's genuine willingness to help even after everything that happened between them, reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, back in Green Hills, Wade tries his best to interrogate Agent Stone, but his efforts are cut short as Dr. Eggman arrives and frees his loyal ally. Now armed with the power of the Master Emerald, Eggman begins to act erratically, drunk with power, realizing that the potential within the Emerald is beyond anything he ever imagined. As Commander Walters and his army approach, Eggman, without so much as lifting a finger, destroys a battle tank. The villain then creates a devastating hurricane that tears through the agent's vehicles like paper. The storm is so powerful that a nearby train is derailed and sucked into the cyclone, causing mass destruction. Maddie and Tom, who are watching the scene from a safe distance, realize with horror that Eggman is using the wreckage from everything he destroys to build something even more terrifying. Just when things seem utterly hopeless, Sonic and his newfound team teleport to Green Hills using one of their rings. Upon arrival, they are met with the sight of the colossal robot that Eggman has constructed using the materials from the wreckage around him. The trio, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, immediately prepare for battle. Sonic wastes no time and attempts to get the giant robot's attention, hoping to lure Eggman away from the city and its people. Tails, piloting a plane, tries to assist by launching an aerial attack. Hundreds of missiles are fired at them, but Tails, ever the skilled pilot, manages to dodge them all, sending the missiles exploding into the nearby mountains, sparing the townspeople. Unfortunately, Sonic gets distracted just long enough for one last missile to hit him. Knuckles charges in at the robot and delivers a powerful punch to its hand, causing some visible damage. Meanwhile, Tails approaches the robot from above, but the robot is too powerful. It crushes Tails' aircraft, forcing him to abandon the plane and use his tails to fly away at the last second. I'm sorry, but Tails being a pilot and knowing all about flying while simultaneously being able to fly is such a good character trait. The battle continues to escalate, and it looks like Sonic and his friends might have a chance when Sonic, still dazed from the earlier missile hit, appears riding the missile that struck him and sends it flying back towards Eggman. The missile strikes the robot, but it only causes minimal damage. Realizing that their individual powers aren't enough, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles decide to combine their powers. Together, they destroy all the smaller robots that Eggman sends to attack them, allowing them to focus on the giant robot itself. Sonic takes the lead, luring Eggman deep into the forest to keep the fight away from the city, while Tails and Knuckles work together to reach the robot's head in an attempt to find its weak point. Sonic is almost knocked out several times as he narrowly dodges laser beams being fired from the robot. He barely manages to stay on his feet, but is eventually struck when trying to cross a bridge. The impact causes him to fall, and he's buried under a pile of rubble. Meanwhile, Tails infiltrates the robot's core and uses his clone ability to try and confuse Eggman, creating a distraction. However, Eggman quickly catches on and hits Tails with a laser beam. Just when it looks like Tails is about to be eliminated, Eggman realizes too late that Tails was only a decoy. Knuckles, having snuck in undetected, delivers a powerful punch that knocks the Master Emerald out of Eggman's body. As the emerald is expelled, the giant robot is deactivated, collapsing into the forest in a heap of smoke and debris. Sonic, having recovered from his earlier injuries, tries to reach the Master Emerald, but he's still too weak to move quickly. Robotnik, desperate to regain control, reactivates the robot just in time to prepare to crush Sonic underfoot. Maddie and Tom, watching from afar, race to Sonic's aid, pulling him out of harm's way at the last moment. However, as they attempt to flee, Eggman causes an earthquake by striking the ground with the robot's fist, causing their vehicle to flip over. With Sonic still injured and the Master Emerald lying only a few meters away, the situation seems dire. Sonic reaches out for the emerald, but as he touches it, the stone begins to lose its glow and crumble into dust in his hands. Eggman, sensing victory, surrounds Sonic, Tom, and Maddie with a ring of fire. Just as he's about to crush them, the 7 Chaos Emeralds within the Master Emerald suddenly react, fusing with Sonic's body and granting him immense power. Transformed by the Chaos Emerald, Sonic becomes supercharged, glowing with energy. Did Sonic just go Super Saiyan? Well, whatever it is, Sonic is now going all out, and let's just say that Eggman is cooked. He immediately takes to the sky, piercing through the robot's foot with his body, then flies up and tears the robot's head clean off. Eggman, in a last desperate move, tries to strike Sonic with a powerful punch. However, Sonic, now far more powerful than before, effortlessly parries the blow and proceeds to dismantle the robot with ease, ripping apart its limbs piece by piece until it's nothing more than a pile of scrap metal. Once again, Eggman is defeated. After the battle, Sonic, now back to his normal self, uses the last of the Chaos Emerald's power to summon a hot dog, jokingly enjoying the snack after the chaos. He then removes the emeralds from his body, and their power is restored. Relieved to see Sonic safe, Maddie and Tom rush to embrace him, thanking him for his bravery. They then invite Tails to officially join their family, extending the same warmth and love to the fox. Meanwhile, Knuckles, having finally obtained the Master Emeralds, decides to give it up. He realizes that revenge is no longer what drives him, and his true purpose is now to protect the universe alongside his new friends. From this day forward, Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic become an inseparable team, vowing to use their powers for good. Knuckles and Tails quickly adjust to life with their new human family. The trio even joins Tom and Maddie in a friendly game of baseball, learning to have fun and enjoy life alongside humans. Afterwards, they all pile into the car to get ice cream, with Sonic bringing the Master Emerald along for the ride, keeping it safe. Sonic got some amazing friends. I really like the character development and the happy ending for Sonic, but I think since Sonic 3 is coming up, this is just a bittersweet ending for our furry little friends. However, Commander Walters and his agents continue their search for Robotnik, who vanished after the battle. Although they search thoroughly, they find no trace of the villain, leading Walters to conclude that Eggman didn't survive the fall. However, just as he reaches this conclusion, Walters is informed about a mysterious file that had been lost in the FBI system over 50 years ago. The file contains coordinates for a secret research facility where the mysterious Shadow Project experiments have been taking place, leaving the door open for new dangers ahead. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a thrilling adventure that highlights the importance of friendship, teamwork, and believing in oneself, as Sonic and his friends band together to face off against formidable foes. Just remember, if you ever find a giant glowing emerald, maybe don't let it fall into the hands of a villain obsessed with world domination. Sounds like a solid plan, right? I rate this movie a 7.5 out of 10. What do you think? Looks like this movie pill is starting to wear off. But don't worry, there's always more where that came from. Tap here to keep the effects going with this next movie, because who can stop at just one? And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe, because your next movie dose is just a click away.